Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Julie's Orchids. So I thought I'd do a follow-up on this Zygopetalum Volcano Queen Tropic House. I bought this one about 10 months to a year ago, and I bought it in flower, and that was its flower spike. And I thought I would just kind of discuss how this plant has gone on. So be sure to stick around. Okay, so as I mentioned, I got this plant between 10 months and a year ago. And I bought it in flower, and I bought it because, well, it's a zygopetalum, and we've got beautiful flowers, and it does have a nice fragrance to it. And I'll put a link in up here, or is it here? Anyway, I'll put a link in somewhere to the repotting of this because I repotted it from bark into pumice, which is my preferred setup. And it's been in here 10 months, and it's quite nicely rooted in. We can see that new growth is putting some roots down into the pot. Got a little bit of a layer of algae on the pot, but that's okay. We've got a little root here. It seems to be not a problem with the algae because it really only forms on the just inside rim of the pot. It's not forming all the way through the pumice, and it doesn't seem to bother the plants. I've had my collection in pumice with this setup for going on 2 years now. I'm going to do a follow-up update on my experience of those 2 years on growing the different kinds of orchids that I do in pumice. But for the most part, I can say I'm real happy. So this one I put into large pumice, and I can see from the looks of things that it's going to need a bigger pot. So I'm going to let it put out another new growth or so, and once that's to the point of new roots coming out, I'll give it another repot. How do I water this? Well, this one gets watered once a week, and I use my normal fertilizing routine. So 1 week it gets a well-rounded fertilizer. I use Orchid Focus, and then the next week it'll get calcium, magnesium, and then the third week it'll get trace minerals and seaweed, and then the fourth week it gets a really good flushing to flush out any of the salts that might have collected in the pot, because the plant uses what it can and when it can and when it needs it when it's there, and if it's not being used, then you have to wash the salt crystals off your pumice. So I do find that a good flushing routine is really needed for any kind of sort of self-watering growing medium, or anytime you're using fertilizers at all, just because of the salt buildup. You will get salt buildup on the soft pebbles. They rinse off a lot easier than the pumice, which is why I put the non-porous river stones on the top layer. But the salt crystals will kill your roots. So if you haven't flushed your pots for a while and you notice that the second your roots are hitting your pumice media, it's not the pumice drying out your root tips. Pumice does not have a wicking effect like leca does. It's the salt crystals on there killing your root tips. So anytime you're in leca or pumice or any sort of medium really at all, even organic medium, you need to flush those salt crystals out. But no, for the most part, the zygopetalums really seem to like this setup. Even in my really hot and dry Perth summers, when I struggle keeping humidity levels up, they seem to do okay. This one is remaining quite small. I'm unsure if it's going to get any bigger because some of the zygopetalums get quite big. And I sort of moved it around while the flowers are forming, so this one opened upside down. But hey, it is what it is. I still got some pretty flowers. I think the last time it bloomed, it had 3 blooms on it. This one has 3 blooms on it. From what I can see, the prior owner has owned this since 2021. So, it's a 3-4-year-old plant, and I've had it for almost a year. Let's get that bloom into a little bit nicer view for you. All right, guys, so that's kind of how I grow Zygopetalum Volcano Queen Tropic House. She's just an absolute stunner of a plant. Very nice florally fragrance. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. a subscribe would be really appreciated. And you guys see that I did open up membership to the channel. Check that out. There are a few perks that I'm going to do just for the members. And I thank you so much for watching. Have a fabulous day.